Hey everybody, this is David with Ryan Everett Insurance. Just wanted to talk to you about water damages. There are so many different kinds of water damages that you may or may not be aware of, and it gets pretty confusing. So I wanted to clear up a few things. What we want to talk about is the four main different kinds of water damage and how that affects you and your homeowner's insurance. The first and most common kind of water damage is called sudden and accidental. Sounds kind of boring, right? But what that is clean water that comes out of a pipe and it just sprays really fast. So I always tell people this is a fast water leak with clean water. That's sudden and accidental. And as long as you have what we call an HO3 policy, which is the most common type here in Texas, that sudden and accidental clean water is going to be covered up to the policy limits. So let's say you have a policy with $200,000 worth of coverage. You have a big water leak in your house that goes on for a week straight while you're on vacation. You come back and your neighbors find water under your door. That's a problem, and it's actually happened. That would be covered up to the $200,000 limit for any damages that occur, as long as it's a clean water leak and it's sudden and accidental. The next type of water damage that's not quite as easy to detect is called seepage and leakage. This type of water damage occurs very slowly over months, weeks, or years, and it can become very difficult to detect until you open a cabinet, you move a piece of furniture, whatever. So for example, this could be something where you have a drip under your faucet in your kitchen cabinet, you don't notice it for a while and it ruins your entire cabinets. That would be seepage and leakage coverage. Or something like under your toilet and it's ruining the floors around your toilet and you don't notice it. Another type of water damage that occurs that may or may not be covered is called water backup coverage. This type of damage occurs when there's dirty water involved. So it's pretty easy to detect because it's usually black, dark brown, gray, whatever, nasty, dirty water you don't want in your house.
My God.
Yeah. What's that smell? Fokker flushed the toilet in the den, so the septic tank is overflowing.
Jack, I told you it wasn't me. It was Jinx.
Fokker, I'm not gonna tell you again. Jinx cannot flush the toilet. He's a cat, for Christ's sakes!
The animal doesn't even have thumbs, Fokker.
So the water is supposed to go out your drain into the street and connect to the city water drainage system and sewer drainage, to be more precise. And so if something happens under your house or on the way to your city drainage system and it blocks, like a tree root, or maybe someone flushes a toy down the toilet and it clogs everything up, and now it's starting to come back up and over the toilet and onto the ground and damages the walls, that would be considered a water backup claim. Another type of water damage that we all know is called a flood. Noah had an issue with this.
I think we should get on the ark.
I agree. I think we should get on the ark also.
I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm going home.
Hurricane Harvey flooded a lot of houses. Most of those people didn't have flood insurance. They didn't think they needed it, or they weren't in what we consider a flood zone. But basically, if you live anywhere where it rains long enough, hard enough, it will flood. So there's a specific definition of flood by FEMA, and it basically says that 2 or more properties have to be completely inundated with water, or it has to cover an acre, a size of 2 acres or more. So if it's just your house, it's not a flood, and flood insurance wouldn't cover it. If it's just your house and part of your neighbor's house, maybe it would be covered because it's 2 properties. The last thing that's really not covered is what I call improper drainage. So if your house slopes and the backyard is slanted upwards away from your house, or the front yard, either way, the water comes towards your house when it rains, but it's only coming towards your house and nobody else's, and you have water coming in, that could be an issue where you have 0 coverage. So there's a couple of solutions to that. One would be to install a French drain. Another would be to just not buy a house that has a yard that slopes towards the house, because there's a lot of problems with that. And the last and worst option is probably to install a sump pump. It is a solution, but it does require electricity. For some reason the power goes out during a flood, the pump's not going to work and your water's going to come into your house. This is not a very common issue, but it is an issue that's generally not covered by your homeowner's policy because that only covers issues that originate from inside of a plumbing system. Then the flood insurance has that definition that we covered, so this just wouldn't be covered. I'm really glad that we were able to talk about this because I have so many questions from clients about specific water damages, and I know it's kind of a boring topic, but it's important to understand the differences. So hopefully this will provide you with that clarity. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to Ryan Everett Insurance. Thank you so much.